we're doing something a little different. I'm gonna start uploading these sections to the main channel as well. So welcome main
Oh,
channel viewers.
main channel.
We're getting some crossover because I feel like I talk about a lot of records and then they never like get talked about on the main channel because we don't have time to react to everything because we are human beings and that would
Yes.
Huh.
just be insane. So I want to feel like I'm talking about things and actually have more of like a discussion around it, and so
Okay.
people know what we're listening to in a more casual format
True.
instead of like having to do a full reaction of things because there's a lot of stuff coming out. I want to make sure people are know what we're listening to. But this week was pretty big,
Yes.
very big actually. There
A
was like
very big
7 albums that came out.
Yeah.
I listened to 3. I still have a couple I need to catch up with, but that'll be for next week. I guess we'll start with last week because I did miss one last week. It was the Dreamville Gangsta Grills mixtape. I
Wow.
just didn't get to it, but got to it this week. Pretty cool. I mean, there's nothing like too crazy about it. It's just like a whole bunch of bangers. Stick, the opener is pretty sick. I mean, you got Jid, J. Cole, Kenny Mason, and Sheck West on a track. It's pretty insane. And then you got, DJ Drama just yelling over it. It's a good time.
Gotta
DJ
love
Drama, who now
DJ
has a
Drama.
Grammy, by the way.
Oh, true. Yeah.
But I mean, pretty good mixtape. It's kind of hit or miss, just because I mean, some people carry their weight a lot more. I feel like Earth Gang kind of let everybody down on this one more, but they just released their album, so I'm sure they weren't giving too much thought to this.
Yeah.
But Ari Lennox like killed her songs in this. I feel like the R&B's like tracks that they gave her were a little stale, but like her vocal performance killed it. She's fantastic. I feel like she's due for a new record. But a couple of cool J. Cole things on there as well. But kind of cool.
Yeah.
This week then we got new Pusha T song, Neck and Wrist with Jay
Is
Z
it
and
a
Pharrell.
it's not a new diss track on
It is not
McDonald's?
a new diss track on McDonald's this time.
Oh, that's too bad.
But the song is very good. This is from the Pharrell side of the album. I don't know when the album's coming out, but I'm assuming it's going to be very soon. But he's doing a very different style than his other records, so it'll be interesting to see how people perceive it. Some people were calling this whack, but that was also on the Kanye side of Twitter, so you can never trust them. I think it's really great. People were saying that Jay-Z was offbeat. To those people, I ask, what are you listening to? These dudes don't know like what syncopation is, I guess, because he was like, he did the beat better than Pusha did, honestly. I mean, it's
Wow.
Jay-Z, but
Well, yeah.
yeah, so good track. I feel like there's still nothing that's blown me away to the fact of like what Daytona did. Although Daytona was short, it was in your face, it was just packed full. So I feel like I need the full record to like really, really get what I want out of this. But Schoolboy Q is back too. Soccer Dad. I'm guessing this is a single to whatever he's doing next. It's been a minute for him too, but this is TDE, so I don't know.
I was gonna ask. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was pretty sure this guy's TDE.
Yeah, he's TDE, so I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But this track's pretty good. Again, I'm ready for more Schoolboy Q. He makes really great album experiences, so I'm excited for that. But Soccer Dad's pretty good. Nothing too crazy again, but like, I don't know, a lot of great rap tracks this week. Tom York did the second half of that like Peaky Blinders soundtrack singles thing.
Oh,
I think we talked about
yeah.
that a few weeks ago. So he dropped the
did.
second part to that. So it's That's How Horses Are. Again,
Oh, yeah.
just he plays a piano and sings. It's really good. That's just what he does. The Smile also released a song. Again, I don't know when the album's coming out, but they've released 4 songs, and I don't know. Please just release it at this point.
Yeah.
This one seems like a Moon-Shaped Pool and King of Limbs crossover, making it my favorite, obviously. It's kind of haunting, kind of chill. The orchestration build on it is really, really pretty. The album art is disgusting, but like the song's really great, so it's fine.
Yeah, that doesn't look very great.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking. I loved like I really like the letterpress type and stuff. I know Stanley Donwood's doing his thing to it, and I love his work. But like, I mean, skirting on the surface and Panavision, like, stop with the high contrast Christmas colors.
Yeah.
A little weird. But yeah, those were singles. This week we got new Vince Staples, new Billy Woods, new Father John Misty. Oh yeah, there's a Pink Floyd single as well. We got a Pink Floyd single.
That's true.
It's okay. I mean,
You're saying it isn't the best Pink
no,
Floyd song ever?
It's like, no, not at all. I mean, it's just for like a Ukrainian humanitarian aid. So I mean,
okay.
go ahead, stream it, do whatever you need to do. It's an okay song. It's just what I expected. Kind of like, hey, let's just do this. Yeah, I mean, with Pink Floyd though, it's like there's no possibility that you could live up to anything because it's Pink Floyd. So
Well, of course. Yeah.
it's all right though. But yeah, Father John Misty, Billy Woods, Vince Staples, 5 Foreign, Jack White. What else do we have?
Heck yeah, Jack White.
Jack White. I have not listened to Jack White or 5 Foreign.
Wow.
I'll have to get to those later. I feel like people are saying the Jack White record's a little weird.
Well, it's a Jack White record.
It is a Jack White record, so I expect that. But I don't know what weird means to other people anymore, anyways.
That's true. You've been on your weird
I've been on my
kick.
weird kick. But we do have a reaction for the Father John Misty recorded. That'll be coming out next week. So we won't be talking about it here.
No.
But
yeah, we did a whole video on it.
Yes, so you'll be seeing that in your subscriber box if you are subscribed, which you should be.
Subscribe now.
Next week. So, but it is very good. Spoiler alert.
Yes.
Let's get to. We'll do Vince Staples first. Ramona Park Broke My Heart. Highly anticipated. I've been waiting on this one. I do think it is a very good. I don't know if it's as good as a self-titled because I'm a big advocate for that album. That was a sneaky one. It's short, it's sweet, and it just crept my way into my playlist and like in the summer and for the whole rest of the year. It's just unbelievably catchy. But this one's more fleshed out, 16 songs as opposed to the 10 songs, double the length. We heard Magic and Rose Street, both pretty good. But in full album mode, this is just a vibe fest again. So pretty much the same kind of thing as the self-titled. It's very smooth, very laid back. This one's even more introspective than the last one, though. I know some people were not too crazy about this, but they also weren't crazy about the self-titled. So I think it's just gonna have to grow. I think it's gonna be very similar to that Isaiah Rashad record last year, where people were like, "Why is he just like very like lazily mumbling through the songs, or why is he so laid back to the point where the beat's just carrying him?" I don't agree with that at all, but like a lot of people said that initially and then it warmed up to them. So I think the same thing's going to happen with this one. I mean, Vince has never stayed the same throughout any album, so I think people will probably adapt to it, hopefully, because again, I don't want to sound like Vince Staples is being slept on, but like his past 2 records have been really great and people are not really like feeling them as much, which is weird. Just because like I feel like he's matured so much. Like these are very introspective records. And I mean, there's a couple bangers on here too. Nothing like Summertime '06, but I don't think we'll ever get another banger fest like Summertime '06. I mean, North just goes hard. It's like one of the best songs of the last decade. But I feel like this one is a very cohesive. It's very chill. Like there's some fun parts. There's some very, very introspective parts. When Sparks Fly has to be like top 5 Vince Staples song ever. He pulled a Mariah Carey and did like a Mobb Deep drum sample on like a soul R&B beat. And it came across awesome. He took a little bit of Peggy influence. I don't know if this was intentional or not, because Peggy has that Grammy waifu song where he raps about like a gun being like his girl or whatever. Yeah. Vince Staples elevates that and makes it a whole song, and like it really, really works well. That beat is like insane. Yeah, When Sparks Fly is definitely the best song on this record. I think that's kind of the consensus as well. But yeah, that song is like transcendent of like everything else here. Like right after right after Magic, and then like this little vocal snippet, and then into when Sparks Fly. Like I listened to the first half of this record driving home, and like it sounds great in the car. It was just the whole record flows so seamless. It's really fantastic. I guess East Point Prayer I was a little on just because like Vince sounded good on it, but Lil Baby's on that song, and I feel like their styles clash.
Oh.
It's a weird combo because Vince is so like accurate. Even when he's laid back, he's very like precise. And Lil Baby has like that weird auto tune effect on him at all times. I think you know what I'm talking about. Just like that very like there's like always a noise coming from his vocal.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
very I don't want to say mumbly, but it's all tied together. So like this beat is super laid back and chill, and Kenny Beats killed it. But Lil Baby over it feels like he kind of like overshadows the beat and then just kind of does his own thing over it. It doesn't really sound that good.
Yeah.
But I really like the first half of the song, so it's kind of unfortunate. But Lemonade with Ty Dolla Sign's pretty cool. Again, I don't think he needed any features on this record. I think I would have liked it more without any features, just because it does feel so personal. But I think this is going to be one that gets ton of replay value again. I really love this direction of him doing these very easy listening tracks that are very introspective, and like the verses aren't as dense as the self-titled from what I can tell so far. The self-titled had to like unravel for me. But this one just sounds really, really great. The production's amazing. I don't mind the laid backness of it at all. He's very, very good at what he does, and I like this direction of him. Just kind of like going with the flow, and especially when he's talking about like, I think the main theme that I'm getting here is like he might not be like gang banging in the streets anymore or anything, but like there's a lot of lines about like he still has nightmares when he's daydreaming. Like he can't escape this thing. So even when the songs he's talking about like how he used to do that, he sounds so tired of it and so exhausted and so like over it. Like he doesn't even want to be doing like talking about it anymore, and that comes across in his delivery. And I think that's where people are confusing the not caring versus like this is intentional because like this is how this man feels. He feels like he's 80 years old just because like he's had to live through all this crap and it never is going to leave him.
Is it like T-Pab?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, there was some T-Pab comparisons on his last record too, with like the way he's talking about these things. But yeah, it's very good. I still feel like people listen to it once and they're like, eh. I mean,
Yeah.
I wasn't getting crazy like hype turn up songs. But I feel like the self-titles was definitely needed before this. Otherwise, this record would have been a big shock to everybody because it is very different than his other works.
Yeah.
But I'm on the train for new Vince Staples stuff. I think these last two records are fantastic. So don't sleep.
I won't do it.
Good.
I haven't listened to any of his stuff. I should probably listen to the self-titled because it is 20 minutes
Yeah,
or something
it's
like that.
so catchy. It's a really good like intro to him.
Yeah.
Summertime '06 is like insane. So I don't know if I'd start with that one.
Okay.
It's a little crazy. Although those songs being performed live is amazing. Summertime '06 stuff. Those were fantastic when I saw them live. But yeah, I think I'm gonna put Denzel over this one a little bit. Just like,
Denzel's great.
yeah, the Denzel record
New
is
one's
awesome. I guess for
Yeah.
people on the main channel, if you want to hear our thoughts on the new Denzel Curry, you can go to our podcast channel or on streaming services, and we talk about that
It
the
was
week
just last
before
week.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've also been doing deep dives into Godspeed You Black Emperor and Slint. So if you want to hear my thoughts on those, you can go ahead and go back. But from now on, we'll be doing this on the main channel so you can be caught up. I wish I would have done it
Very
earlier.
cool.
I've been thinking about it. I just didn't do it yet.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So we'll talk about the main attraction this week. Billy Woods. Of course, it's going to be Billy
William
Woods.
Wood.
Billiam Woods, Ethiops. Stop giving me hard album titles to pronounce. Ethiops.
Ethiops.
I think
Ethiops?
I think it's Ethiops because it's like Ethiopia.
Well, yeah.
I'm just gonna go with that. But
Okay.
first solo record since 2019. He's been doing. I think there was 2 Arm & Hammer records between his last and this one, and then that one
Yeah.
with More Mother. So kind of a big
Yeah,
gap.
it's been a minute.
He's been very active, but like, I mean, his solo stuff has been in the backseat. But This one, fully produced by Preservation, who's done a record with Most Def, or I
Mm.
guess Most Def was under the Yazimbe uh, user, like at that point. I think I don't remember what album
Oh,
it was. It's the
that
one where he's
was
jumping
album.
across the roof. I don't remember the name of it,
Oh,
but this album is like insane. I was not ready, which I should have been. I've been waiting for this for a while. But when you
yeah.
start the album with Asylum and you're just immediately overwhelmed, I'm like, yep, this is definitely a Billy Woods album. The pure density of the first like four lines of this record, I'm like, you cannot just come in blasting like that. And like it starts as the album's production is a mix of like underground 2000s era New York hip hop, mixed with like jazz, mixed with spaghetti western. It's
Mm.
all over the place, but it fits so well. Every song transitions into another. I think that's a big thing that he's kind of been gravitating towards because Haram, every song bled into each other. Brass was very kind of jumbled, but still flowed together. Shrines was kind of like that as well. So I think he's more on this flowing together thing, which works really well with this record just because it is such like a like this one would make your brain explode. Like I was like after this record, I was like I need to take a breath. I was way too much. And
Yeah.
then we recorded Father Met John Misty, and then that was way too much as well. But
But that one sounded nice.
yeah, this one
Yeah.
sounds insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just going hard immediately on Asylum. This record has a very like he's taken the stuff from Brass that I really liked, where it's very dark and sinister, and kind of witchcrafty, which is kind of the word I've been using for that
Mm.
record. That comes over on here, and like just like broken pianos, out of tune strings, very atmospheric things like, and then he just every every song he does could like literally just be written down and sold as like a poetry book and nobody would know it's a rap song. There's too much care taken in every single like syllable here.
Yeah.
And it's just too much because like you pick up on ones every once in a while, but Billy Woods albums typically take like months to like dissect and truly get the most out of. It's music that like truly like rewards further listening.
Mm.
So I get addicted to that stuff because like I love being rewarded for continued listening because the music sounds so great anyways, but then as you keep going it just more unravels.
Mm.
But feature wise, I knew it was gonna hopefully be like a throwback to like Def Jux era 2000s New York underground, and it definitely is when you have LP and everybody on this. These beats are incredible. The transitions from like Christine into Heavy Water is insane. The album from Asylum to Doldrums is like, okay, this is where I can tell what songs are which. We're good. And then Ninex starts, and the whole record just derails into this insanity. You have a Lucid rapping over a harmonica, which is insane, and it's the Lucid where he just goes really fast. So I don't this record's like constantly just getting hit in the face after like a very like dark and sinister slow instrumental. It'll just pick up and there's a very good feeling about like how it's paced as well. It's not like breakneck, like slow into fast. It's like a crescendo almost. But like, oh, it's so good. Elucid, Quelle, Chris on one track together, awesome. Christine starts slow and then builds up during the end, and then into Heavy Water, which Heavy Water's instrumental is basically like it has to be like a very inspired like LP beat, like back in the day, like 2002, because like it is cluttered, it's noisy, it sounds like just the bustling of New York. It's insane. And then Billy, LP, and Breeze Bruin just all go back to back. They switch off verses, so all three of them are just rapping back to back. And like if anybody's listened to an LP solo record, you know that those are incredibly dense. A Billy Woods track could like have someone writing a research paper for like 3 days. And Breeze Bruin just brings like an insane energy. So like that song is like overstimulation for sure, but like at the same time it goes so hard. That might be the best song on the record. I'm not sure yet. But there's so many quotables across the whole thing, and Billy Woods records and Arm & Hammer records are just like those lyrics just get stuck in my head and just replay over and over again. And then one day it clicks, and then I understand like the true meaning behind them usually. But I mean, they just sound so good, even if there is like a deep meaning to them. It's still like these are really sticky and catchy lines. But the whole thing flows really well. Remorseless. I guess the back half of the record slows down a little bit. The record like starts and it starts really fast, slows down a little bit, gets really insane in that middle part, and then kind of slows down again. It's only a 40-minute record, which usually Billy Woods records are like near an hour. But there's kind of like an evolution here, I think, after he's done all these collaborative projects. I think he's coming back with new ideas and perspectives. But yeah, this is rap album of the year for sure. I kind of thought it was going to be. That's why I wanted to make such a point of Denzel last week. I'm like, this record is really, really great, but I'm gonna have to be throwing it next week probably.
Yeah, man, I
that's
love
true.
that Denzel record.
It is
though.
really good,
Yeah.
and it's very catchy too. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, so good. Yeah, these past like 3 weeks for hip hop have been fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna have to like keep digging into this record. So I feel like I haven't really even scratched the surface on what's happening here. But as always, it's like dark comedy mixed with like real, just depressive mental illness thoughts, societal issues, uh, Western ideals versus like African ideals. Africa is an idea versus like an actual continent. Like all these Billy Woods things that usually come up. It's just a spiral of all of these in between like very disorienting beats. But yeah, in terms of his solo records, this is probably up there. I'd probably put it top three like so far.
Wow.
I think Hiding Places is an absolute masterpiece, flawless album. I think that album is anybody who gets like synesthesia or anything for music, like that album will transport you to another world for sure. It's like you're just walking like on a sidewalk in New York, like you're like a fly on the wall in downtown New York, like at night. It's just like you're flying through these like dark, like more poor neighborhoods of New York. It's terrifying. It's brilliant. Hiding Places is like insane, but yeah, I think it's probably I don't know. I think I'd tie it with History Will Absolve Me because History Will Absolve Me, it was definitely a big bang last decade. But yeah, this thing is really, really fantastic. So if anybody's into experimental hip hop and have not heard this, give it a try. I think you'll like it.
I feel like if they're into experimental hip hop, they already know about Armand Hammer and Billy Woods.
Yeah, you'd be surprised though. I feel like Haram was the first record that really got more ears on them just because Alchemist was doing stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, it's
I've been,
always like a thing where it's like there's very specific like genres of experimental hip hop that people either cross over or don't cross over into.
I suppose. Yeah, I think I've heard you talk about them for so long. At this point, it's like, oh yeah, Armand Hammer. They're like, they're a known group at this point.
I
But I
feel like
guess
they're
not
known
to.
in a small little sphere.
Okay.
Yeah. But like, I don't know. It's definitely acquired taste because like some people could listen to this and if they're not paying attention to lyrics, you're not going to get much out of it. Just because like
Yeah.
I get overwhelmed listening to these because there's so much packed in a verse. And like if you're not listening to verses, you're either going to have to really enjoy like the ride of the instrumental or you're not really going to get much out of it.
I
But like,
probably would hate it.
yeah. But if you like get in there, it's like, ooh, boy, I don't know how you pack this much into one little verse. But yeah, check it out. Some other things coming down the pipeline. Elucid's dropping a solo record in June, so
Oh, so both.
both. I guess they're taking a little Arm and Hammer break for some solo records, which they're both
Okay.
due for solo records. So I'm excited for that. I feel like Elucid's good. He's really good. But like when your partner's Billy Woods, like Billy Woods, I would put as the best rapper like currently active. But I think Elucid's getting there. He's a very different rapper. He's very psychedelic. But so that'll be coming in June.
Epic.
And Black Star is releasing an album
Wait, you're talking about Mos Def and Talib Kweli,
Yes.
correct?
Yep. They're releasing their first album in 24 years
Oh,
on May
you're
3rd,
not
I think.
yanking my chain, are you?
I'm not. It's coming out May 3rd. It is entirely produced by Madlib.
Oh, frick.
There was rumors of this for like years at this point. Now it's actually coming. The kicker is that it's going to be released on a podcasting platform. Like,
Oh,
but it's releasing on like a Tuesday, so I'm hoping they pull it on streaming
oh.
services on a Friday or
Why
a
would they put
physical
it on a
release.
podcast
I don't know.
network?
I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but the record was like recorded in hotel rooms.
Oh,
There was no studio like at all. It was just
okay.
done in hotel rooms and backstage at Dave Chappelle shows.
I'm getting less excited the more you talk about it.
But yeah, we'll see what happens. I think it'll be on streaming services eventually. If not, I'm sure there's going to be a way to figure it out. I don't know.
I want to do a video about that.
I would love to do a
I
video on it.
I'm such a big fan of the
Yeah,
first one. Since we did our video on it. Wow, one of the best New York hip hop albums ever,
for sure.
especially in the '90s, especially '90s hip hop.
Yeah, and you haven't really done a Madlib album yet.
No, but I've heard
So
good things.
this that's like an unfair combo. Like you have Mos Def, Yasin Bey. I guess he's going by Yasin Bey now. He has been for a while. And Talib Kweli,
Oh,
and then with Madlib, that's too much of a cheat code to be fair.
yeah.
And there is a song out for it. I don't think it's a final version. At least I hope it's not a final version. But there was one that I
Oh,
heard earlier today, and it was featuring Black Thought. So you have Black Thought, Yasin Bey, Talib Kweli, and Madlib on one song.
frick.
Absolute insanity. That snippet was not very good, just because like I think that was a non-mastered version because the vocals were very like it was not a good mix. Everything was very flat.
Mm,
But I'm sure that wasn't the mastered like final cut of it. If it is, I don't know what they're doing.
probably
But
not.
I hope not. I mean, judging by the album cover and everything, this is gonna be like a very like low key, lo-fi, like
Okay.
mixtape type feel of an album. I think, which is fine when you have people that are like the best at just barring out, you know. And
Yeah.
Madlib's a wizard, so
Yeah,
yeah.
man.
I think the biggest part will be like having expectations somewhat reasonable, even though this is like the best combo you could ever ask for.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, I guess I don't know. Do Talib Kweli and Mos Def, do they still like do stuff? Like, I know Talib Kweli was just on that Tribe record a couple years ago.
Yeah,
But
they're
like, do
not
they
very
still?
active.
Okay.
I know Talib Kweli does like a podcasting show,
Oh,
but those are the guys that like don't lose steam
yeah. Yeah.
just because they haven't like burnt out their catalog. They're very rare. When they come back, they're back.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a very interesting record, but I'll just have to like cap expectations a little bit. We'll see if it even releases on streaming first.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like you, I don't mind the podcasting thing because I want to know like what this service is.
Rumble.
It's Luminary. I don't know if it's
Oh.
their. I feel like it's their service, but I could be wrong.
Is it like a title thing? Or like
Yeah,
Jay-Z and Beyonce put all their stuff on title
maybe
first?
it could be. It's just weird that they're doing that. I could see it like if they 100% owned it or something. I could see that because like people are gonna buy it. Like you could physically get away with doing something like that for an album like this. Like if you
Yeah.
wanted to sell a stem player, this is the album to put on the stem player. Not whatever
True.
Donda 2 was, that
Right.
trash pile. Like
You gotta have like a big pull
yeah, and this has a
like
huge
this
pull. So
for sure.
because this you have like every aspect of hip hop, and hopefully even the younger kids like would be like, oh, hey yo, because they at least know Madlib because Madlib's still active.
True.
But
Yeah, he does the Freddie Gibbs stuff.
exactly.
Yeah.
But that's coming next month. So
That's pretty epic.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
This was
All
all
right.
hip hop this week, I guess,
No, Father John missed.
and that one. But we'll talk about that
We'll talk about that in a
next
couple
Monday.
weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah. So,
I think that's all I got.
okay.
I can just do a double check real quick here,
Yeah, make sure.
but I always forget something, so there will be something forgotten. But I think that's all I have. But really great music week. So we got
Didn't
Kate Bush
talk
coming out this week. So
Today.
today or,
Later
tomorrow
today.
or whenever I post this.
Whenever
video.
you post this on the main channel,
Yeah.
the podcast comes out the same day as the video.
Mhm.
So if you're listening to this in the podcast, this is a little confusing. But our Kate Bush review will come out later today at 1.
Yes.
So
We upload every Monday. I guess that's the
every
easy way to put
Monday
it.
at 1 p.m. So
Yes,
no
sir.
matter when Babby drops this, that's when you can expect our Kate Bush reaction.
Yes.
So-
And I've been seeing a lot of the comments for other things. So we see them.
Yeah.
Don't worry. It's just we're very slow since we only record once a week and we've got a lot of stuff.
We have stuff to do that isn't video related.
Yes.
We have lives. Believe it or not.
What?
It's a
YouTubers
crazy
can't have
thought.
lives. Are you kidding me?
Well, crazy thought.
But we'll try to get to those. I know, like specifically, Arca has been mentioned a lot. I really
has
want to
been.
get into Arca. I have a feeling Jerry's not going to like it, so I think if we do kick one and you don't like it, I think I might just branch off and do the other 4 if I like it, just like because I would like to explore all of it.
I have no idea what to expect. Her
I
album
don't think you're going to
covers
like
have
it,
been-
but we will
Well,
see.
okay.
I think her music is very out there.
Well, I mean, these album covers are freaky.
Yeah.
But
She's
yeah,
a
didn't
little
she do
wild.
like the first, like the 5 kicks were like in.
So she
like,
did
over the
one,
course
I
of-
think, in 2020, and then the other 4 last year.
That's crazy.
So we'll
That's
see.
some King Gizzard turnaround,
It really is.
which we're still waiting on.
We are still
Ethereum.
whatever that is. We are waiting on that as well. So if that's below, well, if that's not an insane length, we might do a reaction to that. I think that could be fun.
I wouldn't mind doing
Yeah.
that. I
So-
like King Giz.
Love me some good King Gizzard.
I'm hoping that I land on a good on this next wheel because I want to do some paper mache dream balloon. I think
True.
that'll be my next good pick.
Okay.
'Cause
I just want to get like Arca going. So if I can get a yikes
Okay.
somehow, then like I'm
I mean,
cool.
it happened. It just happened. We
That did
Corey
happen to
Feldman.
you. Yep. And that was an experience.
That was my first yikes.
It was.
Probably the worst decision I've ever made.
Yeah.
An even worse decision is that now that that's done, what's taken its place is Doug Walker's The Wall.
God.
So,
Whew. All right.
but I have a suspicion that I'm actually going to enjoy Doug Walker's The Wall more than I did Corey Feldman because then at least I'm listening to The Wall, which is good music.
Yeah, but it's bootlegged.
I could be completely wrong and I could hate it.
I'm just gonna hate it for the
Probably.
sentiment. But
Yeah, well, I
we'll
don't know.
cross
We'll
that
see.
bridge when we get there, I guess.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually. So,
Hopefully not.
is that it? Is that it
That's
for
all I have this week.
Wow.
That's
Okay.
all.